Hello, friends. This is a continuation of an amazing story, and you can listen to its beginning by following the link in the video description. And so, let's get started. After a brief hiatus, she has returned, pleading to come back home. She expressed her remorse and informed me that she has terminated her relationship with the lover. She contacted me to tell me to pick up our son. Our child revealed that he was exhausted from sleeping in the car and had even attempted to flee. After comforting him, I allowed him to come back home, and he is now here with me. Furthermore, my daughter expressed her desire to remain with her mother. Shortly after that conversation, I received a text message from her, apologizing and acknowledging that her previous decision was a grave mistake. I informed her that she was not welcome to come here and expressed my regret that she had been mistreated by her partner. Despite my belief that their relationship was going well, she claimed that I did not fully understand her. She confided in me that she was experiencing a nervous breakdown and struggling with mental health issues. Feeling overwhelmed, she felt the only option was to flee. Meanwhile, my wife remains homeless, and my son expressed a desire to return home while we spoke. He grew weary of living homeless and implored to return home. Both I and she consented. Although my daughter initially opted to stay with her mother, she ultimately changed her mind after just 2 days at home. One day after school, she fled. We eventually located her beneath a bridge in close proximity to her residence. She is struggling with mental health problems, and I am endeavoring to get her the assistance she needs. I am in the process of filing for divorce, and when I informed my spouse, she wept and lamented that she was saddened, but still in love with the other man. Skipping ahead a few days, she phoned me in tears, detailing how the man she was seeing had become difficult. He confided in her that he was overwhelmed by the responsibilities of their relationship and required some distance. At 24 years old, he initially felt a deep bond with her, but desired to prioritize his personal growth. She was distraught and collected their children and belongings. She informed me that she intended to apply for the homeless program in the area. I requested that she refrain from taking the children, but she declined, expressing her desire to have them by her side. She expressed gratitude for all that I had done, and then broached the topic of reconciliation. Despite her plea, I calmly informed her that it was not feasible as she had caused me immense pain, and I couldn't bring myself to return to the past. While I had forgiven her, I was emotionally detached. I simply sought a divorce so that I could raise the children and ensure their happiness. I suggested that we could work together to achieve this without being in a relationship. After leaving the house, I received a call from her this morning. She once again expressed gratitude and said that she was tired of living, referring to the fact that everyone had hurt her. She attempted to make me feel responsible for her state of mind. I promptly contacted the authorities and informed them that she had my children and had made threats of self-harm. Her current location remains unknown. Each time I begin to feel more content and optimistic, she takes actions that drag me back into a pit of despair and agony. The constant stress is sure to be the death of me. Update. A few days ago she went missing, but thankfully, she did not harm herself. Before disappearing, she left her twins at her doorstep, and they are now under my care. They have settled back into their daily routine of eating regularly, taking showers, and enjoying their time in the backyard like typical kids. The three of them have become quite inseparable, and our 4-year-old is happy again with her brother and sister around. Yesterday evening, my children pleaded with me to order pizza and watch a movie, and I eventually caved in, saying, "All right, let's do it." It was an incredibly joyous moment for me as I gazed around the room, observing my kids laughing and enjoying themselves. Though I am currently content, I cannot help but feel anxious about the possibility of their mother reappearing and snatching them away from me. As a result, I've been in constant communication with CPS just in case, since I have a strong intuition that she might return soon. Despite dropping them off, she has only contacted us once. She recently contacted me, informing me that she is currently with her boyfriend and that they are more in love than ever. According to her, He has been her source of inspiration to secure a job and start earning her own income so they can return home together. She also mentioned that she intends to come back for the twins. At present, they are both supporting each other's dreams. Although I am happy for her, it's just okay, cool. In addition, she apologized for threatening to harm herself, citing stress as the reason for her outburst. I've decided to put an end to her madness and focus solely on myself and the kids. Towards the end of October, I've also made plans to take my children on a mini vacation to Disney World. It's something we've all been looking forward to, and I can't wait to see the excitement on their faces. I recently received a reminder from Verizon that her phone bill was due on Friday, which has left me in a bit of a predicament. I called them to inquire about breaking the contract, as not paying would inevitably end up on my credit report. Unfortunately, it appears that I will have to pay money to break the contract. It's frustrating to think that she is costing me money, but I am trying my best to handle the situation. Besides, I forgot to mention that her banned substances buddy showed up at her house the other day. I had no idea who this guy was or what he wanted, but it was a startling experience nonetheless. As I was walking in the rain, I spotted a man who appeared to be looking for something. I approached him and asked what was wrong. He responded by saying that he needed to speak with my wife. Given that we are currently in the process of getting a divorce, I corrected him, stating that she was no longer my wife. Curious to know who this man was, I asked him to introduce himself. After some hesitation, he asked if he could come to the door, stating that it was urgent. I declined his request. The man went on to inform me that my wife had run up prohibited substances tab of nearly $2,000 and had not paid him. He was now demanding his payment. I was stunned and left in shock. He stated that my wife had guaranteed that I would pay up, which was not true. I told him I couldn't pay her debts. After informing the man that I had no connection to her issue, I asked him to leave. He issued a threat, stating that if he saw my wife, it would be an immediate problem. Frustrated and worried, I attempted to contact her, but she sent me straight to voicemail. It's just great. Another problem that she has brought upon me. At this point, I am even considering calling the cops to report that my wife has been giving out our address to strangers who are showing up at my doorstep. I am unsure if they can do anything about it, but it's worth a shot. In the final update, I must add that one of the twins fell sick over the weekend, which was quite stressful. Had to be rushed to the emergency room. Upon arrival, the doctors informed me that she had appendicitis and would need to have her appendix removed. In a panic, I called her mother, who took around 40 minutes to arrive. When she finally got there, she was accompanied by her boyfriend, which infuriated me, given that I had my 4-year-old and the other twin with me. I didn't need this guy around, so I told him to leave. However, he remained composed and suggested that we go somewhere to talk man to man. I refused, stating that I had nothing to say to him. Throughout the ordeal, my soon-to-be ex-wife kept telling me to stop, but she didn't even bother to rush to the back to check on our daughter. Instead, she stood there trying to console her boyfriend, as I was telling him to leave. I could sense that my kids were getting increasingly upset, so I decided to take them to another section of the hospital and left them holding on to each other. The doctors informed me that my daughter's surgery would be an emergency procedure that morning, and her mother overheard. Her response was nothing short of disappointing. She asked how long it would take because her new partner had to go to work. She had become his means of transportation. I advised her to depart from Tesco and drive him to work. By that time, I had already been there for more than 2 hours, and my 13-year-old daughter was crying from stomach pain. My wife agreed to be back before our daughter's surgery, but also mentioned that she would drop off her lover at work. Since then, we haven't seen her, and she never returned to the hospital. Yesterday, she called to check on the surgery and requested food, but I warned her that if she showed up, I would involve the police. Additionally, I have asked her to surrender the car that I pay for and is under my name, or I will take legal action. I am completely done with my wife and utterly disgusted by her behavior. When I initially made the post, I still had a glimmer of hope that she would return to me. But now I have no feelings left for her. During our recent phone conversation, she even mentioned that I sounded increasingly harsh towards her. I am currently seeking full custody of our children, who are my top priority. Under no circumstances will I allow them to go back with her. She will have to involve the police if she wants to take them away from me. I can sense that our kids are conflicted because they still love her, understandably. The painful reality is that my loved ones yearn for the return of the person she used to be, but that person is no longer present. They are hurting and waiting for her reappearance, but the truth is that she is gone, lost to love. As difficult as it is to accept, I have come to terms with the situation and have hired a divorce lawyer. Despite her hesitancy towards signing the papers, I refuse to remain in a relationship that is no longer sustainable. Her insistence that I should understand her midlife crisis and accept it is irrelevant to me at this point. I prioritize my own happiness and well-being over her indecisiveness. It is imperative that she understands that her actions can no longer affect us. We have changed the locks on Monday, which means that she no longer has a place to call home. Additionally, we will be taking away her car and paying off her phone bill as soon as possible. It took me a while to come to terms with the fact that the reason she was able to hurt us repeatedly was that I was still holding on to the hope that the person I fell in love with would return. I now realize that the person I was waiting for never existed. This is who she was all along, and by allowing her to continue with her behavior, I was only enabling her. She needs to take responsibility for her actions and stop dragging us into her mess. The damage caused by allowing her unfettered access to me and our children has been irreparable. It is imperative that she is cut off completely. This is a scary prospect, as she has the legal right to take her children, as I never adopted them. I am ready to fight for their safety and well-being. When it comes down to it, my wife has a younger sister with whom she was incredibly close. They spoke every day, and her sister was a constant in her life. When my wife was still her old self, her sister called me crying. She has not spoken to her since and refuses to answer any of her calls. This just goes to show how deeply her behavior has affected those closest to her. When my wife first left me, she was still talking to her sister. As time went on, she blocked her sister on social media as well. It was then that my wife's mom revealed that she was struggling with addiction. All they could do was pray for her, as she was unwilling to accept their help. Reports have surfaced that she and her mechanic boyfriend have been spotted around town begging for money and food. They are currently staying in a rundown motel across town, and when they can't afford that, they resort to sleeping in the car together. To add insult to injury, she also admitted to pawning her wedding rings, both of them, without a second thought. It's a heartbreaking situation, but I know that I did everything I could to help her. In a shocking revelation, my wife has blatantly informed me that she is not interested in caring for our twins. The silver lining in this situation is that her family is not in a position to take care of the children either, so there is no one fighting me for custody. A few weeks ago, my wife agreed that the twins would stay with me until she could provide a stable home for them. She even mentioned the possibility of entering a homeless program to get back on her feet. I am not willing to take any chances, and I will be filing for emergency custody next week. The safety and well-being of my children are my top priority, and I will do whatever it takes to ensure that they are protected.